the depreciating cedi.
Cedi. This is the first time cedi. Who accorded what you are wearing, didn't we import? We imported this, we imported that. Cedi depreciation is a ritual problem. I agree with you. It's not because of one particular government. Unless one is suffering from unconscious incompetence or displaying intellectual dishonesty, that will say that Cedi depreciation is MPP government. It's an issue that has nationalistic, or that needs nationalistic attention. That one I agree. But it's not. So far we keep on being in importer-driven economy. We'll be having problems with the city because we import almost everything. But inshallah, Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, next year if he comes, we're going to design a long-term framework to deal with the city. Trust me.
The depreciating cedi.
Ernest, please help me understand what was said.
Why am I the one to help you understand? The point
I've already said that I have a difficulty, but I need to understand.
Sammy will tell you the cobwebs in your mind. He is confused.
I have more than cobwebs now.
The point he's trying to make.
Yes.
I think I made a similar statement here 3 weeks ago or so on this very table. I think 3 weeks or so ago. The cedi is having challenges. And it's not now. It's not now. I was trying to pull some data. When His Excellency John Ajekum Kufuor was handing over power to His Excellency John Evans Atta Mills, it was a fact that we had the cedi hovering very close to 1 cedi. It was 1 cedi something, 1 point something, very close. I think 1.2 or something like that. By the time 2016 had elapsed and they were leaving office, people are giving varying numbers, but it's not wrong, because in Ghana we have a rate for the forex, we have a rate for the banks. So people are saying it's between 4 and 4.6, 4 point. Could be somebody could be quoting some forex or something. But the Bank of Ghana rate at that time I think was 4.2 thereabout. If that is the case, you took it from 1 point something to 4 point plus. And the last time I mentioned it, I used the percentage, and you weren't happy with the percentage terms. But that is how financial ratios are calculated. Is that not so? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you took it and did something very close to 400%. Somebody takes it from there. But the actions that this government decided to put in place to check these things. One, Stika mentioned you are wearing imported clothes, I'm wearing imported clothes. What it means is that our balance of trade may be having challenges because we are spending more to import, especially things that we could have locally produced and used. We might have acquired tastes of things that instead of eating my local rice that was grown in Tamale or something, I am buying these people, the Chinese and all those rice from all over the world. So our cedi will be under challenge. Somebody was giving some statistics about sugar and all that, those things happening. It's going to affect us. It's the truth. If His Excellency John Mahama, if he should get the opportunity to even come again, and actions are not taken to address the things that keep making the cedi drop, he will take it from 14 point something or whatever. I believe it's going to come down before the year ends. But if he should just come, you take it from there and also multiply by 4. Because the things that are making the cedi fall are not just by mouth or some economists coming to stand on radio and TV and say anything. We have to take action, take steps. Number 2, if you look at the dollar worldwide, dollar is beating everybody. Unless anybody has any other data to give to me, the dollar is pushing every currency off for some other reasons. All I am trying to say is, Stika says, when we come, but His Excellency Bawumia had made statements as to how we will work on these things. You have power issues. We are importing so much fuel to support our power sector because we are relying more on thermal than hydro. We don't have enough hydro. So he said, I am going to bring 2,000 megawatts of solar power. If Stika says next year, when he comes, he's going to do something about it. If he substitutes the thermal power we are generating and using today with solar power, how much of the money we are using to import fuel today will be saved?
What happened to all the prescriptions in restoring the value of the city? What happened to all those prescriptions? Because in the restoring the value of the city, I didn't see solar something.
No,
I didn't see. No, I'm just asking.
You are taking me to a different conversation.
No.
The man is becoming president. And
No,
he says,
no, you don't get me.
President.
The Deputy Minister of Finance,
Yeah.
today,
Yeah.
Deputy Minister of Finance, is telling us that this is why we are where we are.
Yeah.
The same thing that we were told 8 years and beyond. And we were told of the prescriptions and the competencies that are required to deal with this. 8 years on, we are being told that it's a ritual, I've forgotten some of the adjectives.
Okay. Randy, 2019, it's online, everybody can Google. Mm-hmm. We took it at 4.2, 4 point something. By 2019, Cedi to dollar was still hovering around 5.3, 5.4, thereabouts. By 29, it's online, so we can Google and confirm the actuals. The first three going into the 2020 COVID challenges, we had just moved by just single one and some coins.
When did we set up the 38-member committee to investigate the forex problems?
I don't have the dates.
2019.
That's what I'm saying. So you realize that by the time 2019 was ending, we had just added very little to the existing dollar in Ghana here. The free fall, I think, started in 2021, thereabouts. I think late 2020 into 2021, we started having challenges with the dollar. So something would have happened. And everybody who understands some form of economics will tell you. In fact, I was on, I think, GTV or so, something, and I said this thing, that after every pandemic, after every war, like we had the world wars, after those big challenges that cover the world, it's always followed with a recession. It's always followed with a recession. So everybody who understood what was coming knew that after 2020, we are likely to go into a global recession. So when we say COVID affected the Ghana activities on the dollar, on all our economy and all that, it's a fact.
So all countries in the world, all currencies in the world are going through what the city is going through?
Not all, but a lot of the currencies, all our
in fact, let's restrict ourselves to Africa.
What's happening to Nigeria now? Nigeria had to take certain drastic steps before, but Nigeria's situation was worse than ours.
So how come we are the third worst performing, third worst?
So the issue I raised the last time comes to
you are 50-something countries. How come you are the third worst performing?
Randy, maybe Samuel will take me on this, but there are certain steps we needed to take. Government is taking them. You see, there was a time, let me take you back. There was a time I was on a committee, one of the World Bank committees, working on something for me. On that committee, one white man asked me a similar question. It was then His Excellency John Evans Atamils who was president. And we had something like a single-digit inflation. But the interest rate was just going. We were hitting, I think, 30-something. But we were still touting ourselves that we are in a single-digit inflation or something. The inflation was low. The interest rate was rising. And the man asked me, he doesn't understand. Because these things should move with each other. If the interest rate, if the inflation rate is coming down,
there should be a correlation.
There should be a correlation. They shouldn't be inversely proportional to each other. They should be moving in line. If they are going, they will go. If they are coming, they will come. And he took it lightly, made a statement, and we all laughed it off and left. But that was a Ghanaian situation, so a localized challenge that everybody knows all over the world that if the interest rate, if the inflation rate is dropping, we should see interest. So one day I met a banker and asked him, this is what somebody asked me. I couldn't explain. And he said, my brother, we are borrowing on the market just like anybody. Because that time, the Bank of Ghana did not have the money. It's supposed to be the lender of last resort. And they don't have the money.
They could have just printed like was done 2 years ago.
And that is why why did you have that level of interest rate? You know why? So somebody would have made a decision. You either go and print. What I am saying is that I will repeat this statement. Don't let us not just say, oh, we are going to bring B and the interest dollar rate will stabilize. It will not. The government is putting in measures to arrest the dollar rate.
How many times do you want to arrest it?
Oh, the word arrest is not the police one.
Okay.
I'm not a fan of the police.
Okay.
I'm not a fan of the police.
Okay.
But the word arrest is just the use of the English word arrest.
Because the city will plead double jeopardy.
The government has promised us, that going forward, these things will be halted. I believe, because I was one of the people who was on Setekwe's neck also when the city was having a free fall and the devaluation and all that. If when we finish these projects, it may not drop to the 5 cities and that we used to have in 2019 under an MPP government, but we will have it better than it is today. We believe so, and that's what we are working towards. The statement he made, we cannot stop these imports tomorrow morning like people say in the public domain. People are saying, oh, then we can just get up tomorrow and say zero imports or don't import this or don't import that. They all have their own trade issues around them. You cannot just get up and stop American products from coming to Ghana after you have signed AGOA and things. You cannot just say Nigeria. You can't just do that. Or you can't just introduce tariffs. People will come.
So when did you realize all this? In 2024?
No, these things, normally the devaluation will not start one day. It will start gradually, and you will be doing something about them. You will be acting on them until it got to a point when, I listened to, I think, one of the bankers, I think a former Barclays or something, somebody made a statement, allow the city to find its own level. Yeah. Because previously, they got to a time when the NDC was releasing, when the situation was getting worse. They started releasing, was it 20 million or 2 million or something, into the economy. And I keep saying that the moment you release that money into the economy, there are people holding Cedi because we went for an FDI program that the foreigners built their businesses and established, and they have grown their businesses here. So they are doing very well. But those people don't spend Cedi. We ended up putting in the GIPC law that they can repatriate their profits. So if you go and sell, he goes to sell his oil and the Cedi doesn't come, we are in trouble. So these things are things we should be looking at, and looking at them either through policy and other things. If we make noise and we decide that, oh, the Cedi is dropping. In fact, the NDC used to say something else. We went to villages to go and campaign, and they would say, oh, the last time when we were in power, Cedi was 5 cedis or 4 cedis. And when your son sends money to you, you change your, let's say, $1,000, and then times 4, you get your 4,000. NPP people come, they say they won't agree. So they want to reduce the dollar. That time was the conversation. But this is not it. We are saying we have seen the problem. We appreciate the challenge, and something will be done.
You have now seen it.
Oh, it's there. It's been there. That's why I told you the Cedi will not depreciate overnight. One day, then 10 cedis comes to add. It's gradual. It's systematic. And we have seen that the thing is going down. What are the challenges? They are being found out. Okay. And then action is being taken. That's why we came to promise the public that before the year ends, Cedi is going to, the depreciation is going to stabilize like we did before. Until now, it had been stable. If it didn't go back, it's been stable. We are going to do same. By the end of the year, the Cedi will be stabilized and it will come down. We are doing everything. We are making sure there is food in the system. All the things that will cushion the Ghanaian. So at a point in time, if I decide to eat banchi, fufu,
what are 2 things? Next week is June.
Yeah.
What are the two? In fact, Saturday is June. What are the two of the things that you are going to do that by the end of the year will stabilize the city?
I think you just appointed me as a member of.
No, because you said that you have put in place things and by the end of the year. So I want to know just two.
No, I don't have.
Because when it comes to the city, I mean, this is not my church.
Yeah.
You know, if I were in my church and one of my pastors is prophesying, I will take it. I won't ask questions. But when it's Good Morning Ghana,
not a church,
yes, I will ask what